This is part 3 of my 2025-2026 update on my Anubias Barteri propagation project, and today I'm revealing exactly how many plants this round produced. If you watched parts 1 and 2, you've already seen how I turned 40 Anubias into over 200, but this time the number gets even bigger. And if this video was suggested to you, chances are you're either into Anubias, curious about plant propagation, or you've been following this journey from the start. Either way, you're going to want to see this. For those new here, I originally purchased 40 Anubias in 2021. Through rhizome division and careful growouts, I scaled that to over 200 plants. Now it's time for another full reset and propagation cycle. In my 2021-2022 update, I propagated half of my original 40 plants. In my 2023-2024 update, I harvested over 50 plants from the remaining half. Now fast forward to June 22nd, 2025. This is what the farm looks like. The plants had filled in beautifully, but just like in previous years, I was dealing with yellow leaves. I was easily able to deal with this by increasing the amount of fertilizer. I had organized everything into 3 batches. Batch 1 and 2, my original 2021 plants plus the larger propagated plants, and Batch 3, the juveniles from previous propagations. It had been nearly a year since my last propagation, and in some cases over 2 years, so I decided to thoroughly go through every plant. And honestly, I hadn't done a full head count since 2021. Starting with box 1, after removing yellow and dying leaves, and collecting leafless tail and rhizomes, I counted 35 plants. And for box 2, I repeated the same process and again there were 35 plants. Then the 15-gallon tank with the juveniles. After going through all the plants, there were 174 juvenile plants. That brought the total to 244 plants. From an original 40 plants in 2021, that's over a 600% return from a single structured propagation cycle. Had I known then what I know now, I'm confident that number could easily have been doubled. After going through all 3 batches, I was left with a massive amount of rhizomes and roots. On June 23rd, I removed all the roots from the rhizomes, a process that took me about an hour and a half. When I finished, I counted 171 viable rhizome pieces. That means 62% of the plants produced propagation material. On June 28th, I planted the rhizomes on soil. Quick tip, if you're going to try this, keep rhizomes slightly moist, not soaked, and plant them within 24 to 48 hours. I found that soaking freshly cut rhizomes increases the risk of rhizome rot. When I plant within a few hours of dividing, my survival rate is usually over 95%. The juvenile plants were replanted in trays and placed back into their aquarium with hydroponic fertilizers. I prefer trays because they give me better root structure and are easier to manage. Smaller plants go into my sponge setup. 1 week later, we already see some buds forming. I also removed some that were no longer viable. About 1 month in, we already had a few new leaves and strong side shoots. Less than 1 month later, there was significant growth. It is soon time to harvest. On October 1st, I harvested the plants. Here's where the numbers land. I started with 171 pieces of rhizome, but by October 1st, I had already removed 33 that were no longer viable. After harvesting 96 new plantlets, 118 pieces remained. That brought the total number of Anubias to 340 plants, a 750% increase from my original 40 in 2021. And that doesn't even include future harvests. After that, I replanted all the rhizomes and the new plantlets according to their size. on October 25th, there wasn't much progress since the last harvest. In late November, I noticed white fuzz forming on the rhizomes and soil. I harvested, cleaned, and replanted everything onto fresh soil. If anyone knows exactly what that was, let me know in the comments. And during that harvest, I added 24 plantlets, lost 14 rhizomes, and 104 rhizomes remained. In January, I did another wash and replant because the white fuzz returned. This time, I didn't harvest. Instead, I divided the remaining rhizomes into 153 pieces. The goal? To stimulate more side shoots. As of now, I'm sitting at around 360 total plants, with the potential to harvest another 100 from the remaining rhizomes. And since it's been over 6 months since my last full propagation, it's time to divide again. From 40 plants in 2001 to over 360 today, and still growing, this has been one of the most rewarding long-term plant projects I've ever done. If you've enjoyed this update, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. In my next video, I'll show you my 1000 Anubias Nana farm and my 600 Nana Petite farm. You won't want to miss that.